Welcome to the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast. I am your host, HT, joining you with my co-host, the Bearheart, Michael Herbert.
I'm happy to be here.
Today we're talking about twin movies about boxers who are orphans and are brought up in the state system in the largest East Coast cities. Both boxers have to leave their large, beautiful mansions to live in barely furnished, low-income housing. Both movies have scenes in which central characters talk to dead people in graveyards. Both boxers have to fight foreign boxers in faraway cities whose names start with the letter L. And those are just some of the similarities we will get into in today's episode of Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast.
Very specific.
Today we are talking about Creed versus Southpaw. Let's start with Creed.
This picture's from the 10th round of the first fight, right?
How do you know all this?
A great fighter once said, "It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward."
See this guy here? That's the toughest opponent you're ever going to have to face. I believe that's true in the ring, and I think that's true in life. Now show me something.
Michael, what is Creed about?
All right. Well, Creed is about the start of the career of Apollo Creed, made famous from the Rocky franchise. His son, who he had out of wedlock. And
that's good.
Yeah, so that's Donnie, that's Adonis Creed, Adonis Johnson Creed. And so we get to see the start of his career and kind of how he comes into his own with the help of our old friend Rocky Balboa. He's back.
And what is the critics and audience score for Creed?
Creed, rated PG-13, directed by Ryan Coogler, with a screenplay by Ryan Coogler and Aaron Covington, has a running time of 2 hours and 13 minutes. It has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 95%, with an audience score of 89%, and a 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
That's like super high, right?
Pretty good.
Let's get into our second contender, which is Southpaw. Play the trailer, Michael.
This court is aware of the tragedy your family has suffered, Mr. Hope.
It'll be a year before your suspension is up, which means zero income.
No, man. I gotta do this alone.
So what brings Billy Hope into my gym?
I'm looking for a job. I can't lose my daughter. I'll give you my everything.
You don't know anything.
She doesn't want to see you today.
Tell her I love her.
Gotta let her hate you so she can get better.
What chance is there that Hope could win?
What is Southpaw about?
Southpaw is about a man by the name of Billy the Great Hope, who was a product of the state child services system, and he has ascended to be a lauded and successful boxer, and it's really the story of him trying to put his life back together after the untimely death of his beloved wife, Maureen.
Mm-hmm. A lot of family drama in this one.
Very dramatic.
What is the critics and audience score for Southpaw?
Should we take a beat here?
No, it's fine. Tell me the score.
Yeah, Southpaw, rated R, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Antoine Fuqua is a Hollywood versus Hollywood staple at this point. Directed by Antoine Fuqua with a screenplay by Kurt Sutter. It has a running time of 2 hours and 3 minutes, a Rotten Tomatoes score of 60%, an audience score of 75%, and a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
It's not bad. Not as good as Creed, but not
respectable scores.
Yeah, I saw your eyes light up when you mentioned Fuqua's name.
I think we'll talk about him quite a bit during this podcast.
Some famous boxing movies are Rocky, Raging Bull, $1 Million Baby. There's Hurricane with Denzel Washington, Ali with Will Smith, and Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe. So all the great actors and great directors try to get in on the action of the boxing movie.
Being the lead in a boxing film is definitely like a rite of passage or a charm that actors who take themselves seriously seem to, want to check off. It's a box that they want to check off.
What is your favorite boxing movie?
I really love Cinderella Man.
Is Giamatti in that one?
He is.
Yeah.
Has a great role in Cinderella Man. We've talked on numerous occasions about my love for Ron Howard films. It's just a sweet and effective telling of a story, and it's a true story. I'm also a big fan of The Fighter. I'm a big David O. Russell fan.
That's my number one.
Good
Boxing,
choice.
yeah.
Good choice. I definitely feel some cinephile pressure to appreciate Raging Bull. And there's so much to appreciate about Raging Bull, but it's a tough movie to watch. It's the character is not a great person. There's a lot of tough scenes in that film. So, there's clearly something about the very on the surface nature of a man going into an arena to literally fight his way through something that attracts filmmakers, attracts storytellers.
All right, are you ready to pit these two boxing movies in the ring against each other?
Let's do it.
Belts will be wrung. Left eyes will get swollen shut, but only one movie can be crowned a true Hollywood champion. Well, Michael came up with the line, belts will be wrung. That's pretty good. But only one movie can be crowned a Hollywood champion in the Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast.
What are you doing when you watch these films? Are you like focusing on them?
No, this is post 50 Cent.
Who will win the belt?
We have a very simple process. Each movie will compete in several different rounds, and it will be granted a point if it wins the round, just like boxing. In the end, whichever movie has the most total points wins this episode of the Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast.
I suspect that the points, how they point in boxing, they just make up numbers.
Southpaw, I felt like showed some technique, and I feel like those technique might be giving them points.
Well, it's like hits. Like you get a clean hit, and like that's a point.
But like if you hit it like this way versus this way,
I don't think there's a difference. It's just like after like 12 rounds, you're gonna tell me that it's 115 to 114. That's made up. That sounds like a cricket score.
You don't know how cricket works, do you?
No.
Michael and I are also each allowed the ace up the sleeve. Michael, what is the ace up the sleeve?
The H.
We're recording this at 3:15 p.m. right now, and we've been up since 4 in the morning working.
We're just a little punchy.
We're tired today.
The ace up the sleeve gives you or I the ability to end the debate in any category. If you feel strongly that one film should get a point, you can pull the ace, give the point to the film you prefer. On the occasion that we both still have our ace, then it is susceptible to the other's ace. So if I pull the ace in favor of a movie, you can pull yours and Uno reverse my ace up the sleeve.
I feel like it's going to happen today.
You love the reverse.
Round 1. Which movie won the release date? Creed was released on November 25, 2015. Southpaw was released on July 20, 2015. Tell me, Michael, which movie got into the ring first?
Southpaw got there first.
Southpaw taking the first point. Round 2. Which movie won the box office? We know the answer here, I think, but I'll give you the numbers. Creed, whose budget was $35 million, grossed $173.6 million worldwide. It's great for a remake. Southpaw, whose sequel? Southpaw, whose budget was $30 million, grossed $92 million worldwide. Not bad. But when it comes to the box office success, which movie sold out the venue, Michael?
Sounds like Creed takes round 2.
Round 3. Which movie has the better title? What do you think?
You want me to start?
Yeah. I feel like I've been talking this whole time.
I think that this is pretty simple for me. Creed's a great name for a movie. We have familiarity with the Creed name.
No, hold on. Let's pause there for a second. If you haven't seen Rocky.
Why do you ask me to start and then immediately interrupt my thought?
Well, you said we have familiarity with the name.
We do.
What, because of the band?
The American people know who Apollo Creed is, if you're a real American.
I had not seen Rocky till the year 2022.
Yeah, but you saw it.
I had no idea who Creed was.
That's likely not most people's experience.
You're like one of those people, well, when you meet people who say that they've never seen Star Wars, and you're like, oh, you don't know what Skywalker is.
No, like my mother has never seen Star Wars, but she knows who Luke Skywalker is.
She has never seen Star Wars? She's been to Disney like 50 times.
Yeah,
All right, continue.
much like the score of cricket, I can't explain to you a lot of the things my parents have done in their lives. Most Americans, most of the film-going public, have familiarity with the Creed name, specifically in reference to boxing films. But in this case, I don't like justifying a lot of points based on negative things, but I feel like the film Southpaw never earns its name. The notion of Billy fighting, like in a Southpaw stance, is not integral to the story. It's mentioned in passing a couple times. It feels like the film was attempting to reach after the fact, like reach to make it the title relevant. And I didn't feel like it was relevant throughout the film. I still don't feel like it's relevant. I think
wasn't the original title for the film Billy Gets his hope back, and then they changed it to Southpaw?
I don't know. Did you research that?
No, I just made that up.
Okay.
I think
Billy gets his hope back. I was like, that would be amazing if that were true.
Continue.
No, I think Creed's an effective title, and I think Southpaw is a bullshit title.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, and the reason is that I think Southpaw is just a cool sounding word. When I first saw the poster of the movie back when it was released, it's just a really cool sounding word, Southpaw. Aren't you curious when you hear Southpaw what that is?
I'm going to say yeah. That actually the title Southpaw interested me.
It's a very interesting, cool sounding word.
But then it really infuriated me when it turned out to have zero significance.
It does have significance at the end.
It has no significance.
This is my second time watching Southpaw. The first time when I saw it, it registered with me what Southpaw was and how it came into play.
How did it come into play?
It comes into play at the last fight of the movie and how he defeats the reigning champ, and it's like his reverse hand that goes under.
And how does that have any significance thematically?
I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just saying it's a cool sounding word. It's a cool sounding title.
I didn't want to get into this so early, but it's the perfect. It's a perfect example of Fuqua bullshit. It's all style. It's no substance. It stinks.
So if you don't know who Creed is
everyone knows who Creed is?
If you don't know who Creed
I don't
is
care.
Creed a good title?
Yes.
All right, ace up my sleeve, Southpaw.
Okay.
All right. See, it seems very anticlimactic the way you're so sad over there.
What can I do? What can I do?
Okay. I just thought Southpaw. Southpaw is just a cool word.
This podcast is going to be a nightmare.
Let's dive deeper. You're looking at me like an alien right now. Which movie has the better leading actor?
This is an interesting category.
Yeah? You think so? Creed stars Michael B. Jordan. We all love Michael B. Jordan. He's known for characters that he has played in Chronicle, Fruitvale Station, Fantastic Four, Creed 1, 2, and 3.
It's Fruitvale, not Fruitville.
Did I say Fruitvale? I recently watched that movie.
It's like right next to VeggieTales. Where do the VeggieTales live? They live right next to Fruitville.
Fruitville, yeah. Creed 1, 2, and 3. He directed Creed 3, which is pretty impressive. I think you said Creed 3 was awesome.
I love Creed 3, yeah.
He's in Black Panther. Black Panther 2, he has a cameo. He's in Just Mercy and Fahrenheit 451. Did you see either of those?
I haven't, but I find him to be an engaging enough performer that I'm interested in watching those movies just because he's in it.
He does have a good screen presence. What do you think of him as Creed?
I think it's an amazing performance. He does a really great job balancing vulnerability and aggression throughout the film. And I feel like that's not a dissimilar theme to the journey that Billy Hope goes on, but I felt more on the road with, along for the ride with on the journey that Adonis takes in the film, because Michael B. Jordan's performance is just very relatable and felt very honest and authentic. He has excellent chemistry with his co-stars, which I'm sure we'll talk about in our next category. But obviously he's doing half of the lifting, in the scenes where he's sharing the screen. He's got comedic timing. He's got really good watery eyes. when he needs to break the "I'm almost crying" face out. Yeah, it's just a really engaging and entertaining performance.
I thought he did a pretty good job. I like him a lot in movies. I think that knowing the Rocky movies beforehand definitely helps you enjoy this movie. And that's why I was asking you this earlier, which is that can you watch this movie and enjoy this movie as much if you don't have that Rocky background to go with it?
I don't know that you can enjoy it quite as much. The moments that directly reference the Rocky films are effective, and they don't feel like, I guess, sometimes I feel like I don't even know what the definition of fan service is, but this movie feels like the right way to reference a property that people are very endeared to and love.
And we're going to get into that more when we talk about Best Director, because I think we'll bring up writing at that time.
Sure.
When I first watched this movie, I was aware of Rocky, but I did not know anything about the Rocky movies because I hadn't seen them. So when I first watched this movie, I did not enjoy it as much as I did this time around because in 2023, I had seen the Rocky movies in 2022.
Did you still find Creed to be satisfying as a film unto itself?
The first time? No, it was just like another boxing movie the first time around. And like it or not, you tell me what you think. What do you think of Stallone's acting?
Well, do you want to save this for the cast category?
Oh, you want to bring it up with supporting cast?
Yeah, well, he's not the lead.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so we'll talk about Stallone's acting in a second here. So Coogler did a great job writing the script, paying homage to the source material. Here's my question for you. And this is a question I was not able to answer the first time I watched this movie and this time when I watched this movie. What is Creed's motivation? What makes him tick? Why is he doing what he's doing? Why does he want to be a great fighter? He's in the child services system. He doesn't know who his father is until the Creed's wife comes to get him. When does he get motivated to, and why does he get motivated to be a champion fighter?
It's in his blood.
That's it? That's thin. That's not a very strong story right there.
Well, obviously the story is indicating that he has some genetic predisposition to be an effective fighter. And I think the film goes to some length to say that he was raised in a situation where fighting was not uncommon.
And then he goes to stay in Apollo Creed's home where what's the wife's name? The character's name? Mrs. Creed.
Johnson. Her last name's Johnson.
His adopted mom raises him. I'm pretty sure she did not send him to the gym to learn boxing. She sent him to like a nice school where he got like a nice job and stuff. When did he become a fighter? How did he become a fighter? Well, the film does not explain at all what makes this guy tick and what makes him want to go after this goal that he goes after.
What does young Adonis Johnson say right before we see the Creed title?
He says, "What is my father's name?"
What was his name?
Yeah.
So you have a very impressionable young child who grew up, according to this film, in a situation where he had to physically protect himself because he was raised on the street and he's in juvenile hall, and we're shown that he is engaging in physical altercations.
He had no choice.
And then at some point, he's going to learn when he's 7 or 8 years old here that his father is Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
He's going to find out who Apollo Creed is. And you don't think if you're 7 or 8 years old and you find out that your biological father was one of the greatest boxers in the world that you wouldn't consider trying your hand at it? That you wouldn't have an interest in it?
That you would have such a strong desire that you would want to be world champion?
I mean, world champions in anything are our geniuses, our great athletes. They happen because their talent and their interests intertwine.
So you are one of
the most talented
proponents of opponents of nepotism. This is a great example of nepotism right here, man.
Well, I mean, I think the most unbelievable thing in this film, and it happens in both these films, is the way that the lead characters get their title shot.
I mean, go back to the first Rocky, man.
Right, and it makes
just
sense. But
ludicrous.
Again, it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
But it felt appropriate for Creed because it's in some way referencing the unlikely events that brought us Rocky, and it's a movie.
All right.
I mean, one of the things that's interesting about both these films in terms of them being boxing films is that they're both about fictional characters. Whereas The Fighter, Cinderella Man, Raging Bull, those are all based on true stories.
Yeah. So despite how much I liked Michael B. Jordan as Creed, I was never pulled into it because I could not understand why he is doing what he's doing. Other than the movie just saying, oh, he's a Creed, so he wants to fight.
I had no problem with that.
All right, let's go to Jake Gyllenhaal. Donnie Darko, Bubble Boy, The Day After Tomorrow, Brokeback Mountain, Jarhead, Zodiac, Source Code, Prisoners, Nightcrawler, Spider-Man Far From Home, just to name a few of the movies that he's been in. Did I mention Brokeback?
Did you say October Sky?
No, I skipped that.
Did you say City Slickers?
Wasn't he like a kid in City Slickers?
Yeah, but I love City Slickers. And I loved October Sky. I think I went to see October Sky for my 12th birthday. We went to the movies, and then we went to Sizzler.
Nice. Sizzler, a great American tradition. Is that the one with the unlimited breadsticks? No, that's
Olive Garden. Sizzler has unlimited everything.
Is that right?
I don't know. I think when we were in LA for work, I saw a still operating Sizzler, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so what do you think about Jake Gyllenhaal as Billy Hope in Southpaw?
Gyllenhaal's performance is by far the best thing about the movie and the best reason to watch Southpaw. It's a committed performance. And if we consider the things that I mentioned about Michael B. Jordan's performance, the balance of vulnerability and anger, I would say that Michael B. Jordan prioritizes the vulnerability when the script for Creed also emphasizes the vulnerability. I think Gyllenhaal's performance and the script for Southpaw emphasize his anger.
His anger is the reason why he loses everything.
It's his mountain to climb, maybe more so, than the physical match that he meets in the ring. It's a aggressive performance that really starts in the first scene.
Aggressive overacting or aggressive believable?
I think believable. Something that occurred to me while I was watching Southpaw was how inarticulate a protagonist Billy is. He constantly butts up against his ability to express or explain his emotions. He's not a smart guy. We're told that he's a brawler, that this is the thing that he's best at. And even when we get into the style, get to talk about the style in which he fights, when the Tick character, am I saying the Tick? Tick's
Coach
his name.
Tick,
Tick
yeah.
Wills.
Yeah.
When, Tick talks about how, he's fought using anger as a tool, but how it's actually a hindrance because it's not a supplement for skill. So we see incremental change in him, and especially in the relationship with his daughter and his relationship with himself and his anger, and it's just his relationship with like authority, right? And like the rules of society, and how he's just constantly just exasperated by the rules as much as he is his inability to play by them, or his inability to succeed in operating within the boundaries, of rules that other people have set up for him. So he's just kind of bouncing off the walls all the time. It's an intense performance. Southpaw's kind of exhausting to watch because he's dialed up the whole time.
Yeah. We both have had an independent film background, right? Or independent narrative background.
Sure.
And I've never lived in places like this, but I've come across a lot of people who are, well, not boxers, but like very much from the projects, having had grown up in the system. And the way Gyllenhaal does the mannerisms, the body language, I would say even the charisma is just impeccable. And I think he brings a solid performance to a very well-written character. And from the word go, the beginning of the movie, you are in it from the moment that his hands are being wrapped up. So I think he just inhabits this character so organically, fully, each thought coming out of his head. Like, for example, when he's rehearsing the speech that he's going to give at the children's dinner, that does not seem like something he read in a script and learned. It just seems like a very organic thought that came out of him. So
I don't want to interrupt your train of thought, but I want to agree that I think that's one of the most effective scenes in the film in terms of his performance, and in also trying to express realism in that, speech scenes, scenes with great speeches are such a hallmark of Hollywood films. So to see a guy who gets up on stage and has an opportunity to say something, and he doesn't have anything great to say. He doesn't have anything immense to say, or he doesn't know how to kind of articulate his feelings. So he gets up there and he really stumbles through it. It felt very authentic. It felt very true to the character. Both these films, I can't really think of the characters doing things that don't feel appropriate for them. Solid character journeys for both films, but particularly for Billy the Great Hope.
Right. So, I used up my ace up the sleeve here. Where do you land on these?
Like I said, I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan in Creed, but Jake Gyllenhaal is the reason to watch Southpaw. And I'm really... Jake Gyllenhaal has become one of my favorite actors. Nightcrawler is a film that rests on his performance's shoulders, and the character that he's creating in a very unique way. I would almost compare it to Joker, except that it's good.
Oh, you're talking about the other Joker, yeah. That movie made $1 billion.
Well, a lot of people out there who are wrong about a lot of things. Jake Gyllenhaal's been making interesting choices and choosing interesting films to be in for a long time. Is Brokeback Mountain's like 2005?
Might be even earlier than that, but yeah.
Strong movie. Nightcrawler and Zodiac, he's definitely a guy who seeks out unique filmmakers to work with. He's looking for opportunities to challenge himself. And while watching Southpaw, I could tell that like he wanted a challenge. He wanted something to really sink his teeth into. I think a lot of times he's done a disservice. His performance is done a disservice by the writing of Southpaw. But I would watch this film again just to revisit his performance. So big fan of Michael B. Jordan, but in this category, I think I got to give it to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Round 5. Which movie has the best rest of the cast, meaning everyone except the lead actors? Let's start with Creed. We have Sylvester Stallone, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Do we ever?
For his role at the Academy Awards. Let's just get it out of the way now. What do you think of Sly Stallone's acting?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
Can he form a sentence together?
He's not supposed to. That's the whole thing.
All right. We also have Tessa Thompson, who I fell in love with when I watched the Thor movie, Ragnarok.
You saw that before Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's 100% lovable in this movie, too.
Yeah, she's great. What do you think about her character's music in this movie? Did you like the music that she was making, the character?
We don't hear a ton of it. We hear enough of it to make it seem believable.
What about that first song in the club?
It's like, to me, it's like it's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? No hedging. I like it.
Not me. I like Tessa.
How would you compare it to?
Having been to a few bar performances, not necessarily of this type of music, I did not believe the crowd reacting to her music the way they were. They were reacting to it as if they were listening to rock music or something. But her song was very muted, low energy, and all of that. Am I wrong about this?
I don't know if you know this about me, but I managed a band in when I was living in Brooklyn for a short period. Kind of an odd stretch of time for me.
DJ Mike.
And I spent a lot of time with the band in a lot of small venues. And this felt very authentic to me.
Okay. I'm wrong then. Felicia Rashad.
He rolls right over. I could have just made that up.
Why would you lie to me?
There was a line from...
Are you lying?
No. There's a line. I was watching the Untouchables the other day. And it's just a great line where when Sean Connery comes across Kevin Costner for the first time and he says, "Why are you armed?" And he goes, "I'm a Treasury officer." And then Sean Connery turns and walks away. And Costner says, what kind of cop are you? Why would you turn your back on an armed man? Connery says, "Well, you're a Treasury officer." Costner says, "I could have been lying to you." And Sean Connery says, let me compose the line. He goes, "Who would say they were that who was not?"
All right. Sounds a little Shakespearean.
Well,
yeah.
It's Connery.
Good stuff. Felicia Rashad from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is in the movie. Mm-hmm. I love her. Aunt Viv. Is that right?
Aunt Viv.
I also liked Richie Coster, who plays Pete, the trainer, who I remember from the Dark Knight movie.
Oh, the Greek. Is that what they call him, the Greek?
In the Dark Knight?
I think maybe in both films.
Well, he's Pete in this movie. He's not the Greek.
Yeah, but he might be Pete the Greek.
Pete the Greek? Do you have anyone else?
He's the most Grecian-looking man.
I don't know what Greek people look like or sound like.
That.
All right. Anybody else you want to mention in this cast?
Oh, well, do you know who's in Bianca's band?
Who?
Ludwig Göransson.
Oh, really?
That's the long-haired guy in the band.
Oh, I didn't pay attention. Okay.
That cracks me up.
Yeah. All right. So what do you think of this cast?
The relationship that forms between Bianca and Adonis is so lovely. You're rooting for them right from the get-go. And then they throw Rocky in the mix. And it's just this weird, cute, natural thing, these relationships that develop, and you believe very quickly that these people matter to each other and that they're all kind of on their own journeys, but they've found their paths like intertwined in this moment. The scene where they kiss for the first time, the scene where even when he's moving out and he didn't tell her yet, you didn't tell me your uncle was Rocky Balboa, but he's white. The dinner scene that the three of them have together. I'm probably more enamored with the writing than anything, but the performances really, really elevate the writing and let us experience complete characters throughout this film.
I agree with you about the writing, and I think all of the writing in the movie helps all of the performances in the movie. Coming back to my original question about can Stallone act, I think Rocky is a beloved American movie for all the right reasons. And again, Rocky works so well because of its writing. And in this movie, I can totally see someone like Forrest Whitaker be the Rocky character and be a better actor performing that character. Like a higher caliber actor than Sly Stallone.
The performance of Rocky is a balancing act. He's not the smartest guy, but he knows a lot. He's not the clearest communicator, but he uses euphemisms and analogies in a very endearing way that you're never unsure of where he stands about something.
So it's all in the good writing that all of that information already exists.
No, there's so much about what makes Rocky a successful character that's in the delivery.
As Stallone?
Yeah, Stallone as Rocky. When he says, that's pretty good, the chickens are slowing down. I don't know if he read that I don't know if he did that 10 times and they found the right one, but that it was the perfect delivery. It was the perfect delivery to not just sell a joke and the timing of the joke, but to express the passage of time. Time has passed. Rocky's an older man now, and his challenge in this film is letting us catch up to who he is while giving us the Rocky that we know and love. And there's never a moment where I'm watching this movie and I see Sly Stallone. I see Rocky Balboa from frame one.
Okay. And we good with Tessa? We like Tessa in this?
She knocks my socks off in this movie.
What about Aunt Viv?
Shit, it's a solid performance. It's not a very flashy performance. This is a 3-actor ensemble.
Yeah.
The film belongs to the 3, and I think it's better for it.
Let's get to Southpaw. We have Forrest Whitaker. We have Rachel McAdams. We have the little girl, Layla, played by Una Lawrence. We have Naomi Harris, who's a social worker, and we have 50 Cent. Anybody want to add?
Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Nope, that's my whole list too.
So what did you think of that cast?
Southpaw commits the classic Hollywood sin of hiring amazing actresses like Rachel McAdams and Naomi Harris, and giving them absolutely nothing to do.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Why?
But I mean, I might agree about Naomi Harris, but Rachel McAdams had a pretty solid part and did pretty good.
I really liked Forrest Whitaker. In general, I really like Forrest Whitaker. And I think the best scenes in this movie are the scenes between Billy and Forrest Whitaker.
Pound for pound, do you like the Creed Balboa scenes or Whitaker Hope scenes?
Creed Balboa.
Okay. I'm on the other camp. I really enjoyed Whitaker and Hope scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I said, there's a lot of people who are wrong about a lot of things.
Like you.
No, I mean, yes. The Forrest Whitaker, Jake Gyllenhaal scenes are the best scenes in the film. 50 Cent, I think he's out of his element. The writing doesn't help him, but I think he's getting outacted, even by Una Lawrence, who is 9 years old.
What do you think of Una Lawrence's acting?
Her acting's better than the writing.
Okay.
I
mean, do you think somebody like young Dakota Fanning would have done a better job here?
Yeah, I mean, Dakota Fanning was like a phenom child star. Una Lawrence puts a good performance in this film. I don't feel like she has... I feel really weird criticizing like a young child's performance.
Oh, she's pretty successful now. She plays Matilda on Broadway.
When I was, I love Matilda. When I was looking up the cast for this film, I was just like, who's this white woman? Because she's not 10 years old anymore. Una Lawrence doesn't have the screen presence that Dakota Fanning kind of showed up with. I haven't seen anything current that Una Lawrence has been in. But I feel like they got a lot of actors, decent actors outside of Jake Gyllenhaal and Forrest Whitaker, and they don't put them to great use in this film. I feel like Gyllenhaal and Whitaker are big enough actors to take liberties with their dialogue and maybe rework some things, because their characters seem a lot better written. Their dialogue seems a lot better than any of the women or 50 Cent get in the film. So it's probably not surprising that the scenes with Forrest Whitaker and Jake Gyllenhaal are the best scenes in the movie. The two of them probably did their own work to punch up the dialogue and enhance those scenes.
Okay. I felt that this cast worked really well. I like the cast in both movies, but I think we've talked about this in other movies that we have talked about, which is that I could tell you what each character did in the movie. I could tell you exactly what journey they took, where they went. Even Rachel McAdams, who, spoiler alert, dies in the movie. Even her little journey of how she kind of manages Billy Hope's career, and how she wants to raise her daughter, and how she doesn't, even though she grew up in the same system as Billy, does not want to get into conflict. All of those things are really well spelled out in the script, and her character is well written. So for all of the reasons of how the script is written, how fast it moves, every time I see a movie where the first act is like rock solid, I'm just all in. And I think Southpaw is one of those movies where all of the characters in those first 35 minutes, whatever happens to them, is rock solid writing, rock solid directing, rock solid acting. What do you think?
Oof. Other than Jake Gyllenhaal's glorious abs in this film, there's nothing rock solid about it. The first act culminates in the death of Rachel McAdams in a very confusing, vague, and melodramatic incident where she is hit by a accidentally discharged gun from someone who for some reason is never held accountable for that incident, even though it's in a room filled with people.
Well, the security catches the wrong guy, and the right guy leaves.
There were a lot of people at this event, and a lot of people were paying attention when the tussle was happening. Film gets off to a rough start for me because that situation...
You didn't buy into it.
Did not seem believable. No, and it made me really think, like, I understand the reason why you would want to make Creed. Why telling the character who is the descendant of another famous narrative character would interest you. I don't know why you would choose to make a fictional story about a boxer when there are very, very interesting stories about real-life boxers, that you would choose to make a story about a fictional boxer and then give him such an unbelievable origin for the story that you're going to tell.
Oh, it's the fall of a king, right? That's the story. The fall and rise of a king.
It's just...
Okay, well, we don't need to...
It's just, yeah, to me, it's melodramatic and it's weak writing.
Okay. So, where do you stand here?
I was very happy to give Jake Gyllenhaal the point for our best lead actor, knowing that I would return to the Creed corner for the best cast. So that's where my heart lies.
I'm not convinced that Stallone can act.
All right. Well, in turn, I shall use my ace up the sleeve so we can move on to the next round.
Point Creed for best rest of the cast. Round 6. Best scene. In this round, Michael and I agree on the scene we think is the best scene in each movie, and then we decide which movie has the best scene. So we narrow it down to 2 scenes, and then they butt up against each other. In Creed, Michael's favorite, I have the first fight in a single take, Leo versus Donnie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't write that down, but that's a good scene.
I'll bring this up in the best shot later.
Done. Sold.
Done? Do you want to talk about any of the scenes?
I have different scenes written down.
All right, before we move on to, you should mention other scenes, but I think we'll both pick this one. Yes. For those who may have not seen Creed, this is the first professional fight that Donnie has, and in this fight they have choreographed, I don't know maybe like a 4-minute sequence, which is a single camera take. I don't know they have done it so well that I can't tell where all the seams are, where they have cut around. And it's just a single 4-minute, 2-round boxing match. And it's superbly done.
We'd call it a oneer, right?
A oneer, yeah.
So a oneer is one long shot that gives us most of, if not all, an entire scene.
The camera moves through the scene fluidly. You don't know how they're doing it.
And in this case, it is broken up. It was not achieved the way that you perceive it all as one take. They broke it up into pieces.
And they've done it so well that I could not tell where the seams were.
Yeah, I think I saw one. I felt like I could acknowledge there was a specific place where a cut occurred. But it's a similar strategy to how they made the film Birdman. So Birdman, the Inarritu film, appears to be one long shot, but obviously you would not be able to create the film authentically as one shot. But it's really impressive. Even I mean, there are solid minute-plus stretches of fight choreography, and I'd seen Creed before, but it didn't keep me from being really, really impressed by the execution of that shot.
And they tried this second towards the end of the film. They tried this again, where they tried to do the one long shot. It just wasn't as well done, or I guess at some point they must have been like, well, we can't do it for this scene.
Sometimes when you when you decide to pursue a oneer, you have to be really confident that that's how you want the film, how you want that moment to be shown in the final film, because you're not shooting what we would call coverage. Coverage is kind of a safe, multi-angle way to show the action of a scene. So if it were two people sitting at a table, you would do a wide shot to show them both, and then you would do individual coverage, and then you can control the pace at which the scene plays by editing those 3 shots. But in a oneer, you're stuck. You're stuck with what you have, so you better like it. What are some famous oneers? My favorite oneer is in Jaws when Brody is on the small car ferry. The camera's locked down to the ferry, and the mayor and a couple of his cohort board the ferry as it's moving away from the dock. And we get the whole scene about how Brody should not be, closing the beaches because they got to think of all the business owners in town and the well-being of the business owners in town. Anyway, it's a whole scene. It takes place in one shot. It's absolutely amazing. And Spielberg's very famous for his oneers.
Yeah. So what is different than the shot you're talking about this shot and the most famous oneer, I would say long take, is the Goodfellas going into the club shot.
The Copa.
Sounds too cliche at this point, because I think every film nerd will give you that shot, which is when they go into the restaurant through the basement in Goodfellas. One of my favorite oneers, and there's so many of these, is from the movie Punch Drunk Love, where, are you familiar with this one? Where we go into the shop with Adam Sandler. The girl who he's interested in comes to talk to him. His sisters are on the phone at the same time, and then we keep going in and out of the shop for, I don't know, a few minutes. And Punch Drunk Love has a few other long Steadicam shots that are oneers. So that's a great movie to watch if you're interested in this type of camera movement.
P.T. Anderson also does the oneer that opens Boogie Nights, which is
another
out of control, which is a reference to the oneer that opens Touch of Evil.
The original oneer.
Cinema history.
If you guys haven't seen this black and white movie called Touch of Evil.
Good movie.
Fascinating opening sequence. That's the opening sequence, right?
Yeah.
And in Touch of Evil, great mirror work. Or looking through windows work.
And Charlton Heston playing a real Mexican.
Yeah, some things don't age well. But it's a good movie. It's a good, fun movie.
All right, let's get back on track.
All right. So, do you have any other nominees for Creed?
I mentioned previously I really like Don and Bianca's dinner, their first cheesesteak that they have at Max's. We get a lot of new perspective on the characters in that scene. And the two of them, they just look like they're having the best time, acting off one another. And then I really liked the scene where Rock shows up at Mighty Mix for the first time, and you get the trainer, like, you get the complexity, the kind of strange complexity of the situation very quickly, and it gets very awkward, where in the trainer whose son is an up and coming and successful boxer, he's wanted Rocky to come and train with his son, and that hasn't happened, and now Rocky has shown up to offer his services
to train Hollywood
in some degree with this, guy who's from new to town from Los Angeles, and as far as anyone knows, is a nobody.
One of the most annoying things about Creed when I'm watching it is the player cards that come up. Was that a thing in the Rocky movies?
No.
Why does it play in the movie at all? What is the reason for it to be there? Does it do anything to service the plot or the story?
I mean, it's only used to emphasize the qualifications of the professional qualifications of individual boxers as we meet them.
But it takes me right out of the movie.
I didn't mind them. And I am very sensitive to different text on screen effects, and I can empathize.
Does that continue in Creed 2 and 3?
I don't think so.
Okay, so...
It definitely feels like a thing of its moment. Like, I remember
Did Suicide Squad, the first one, came out the same year? Because they did that too.
I'm thinking of House of Cards when they did the on-screen texting, which you and I have ripped off in a project before.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment when
Texting is different. You got to show the text.
well, now like in Top Gun they show the text,
Yeah.
but they showed just the phone.
The phone. Yeah.
But choosing to put the text on screen, obviously it's an artifact.
I think you were comparing two different things. The phone text is different than player card.
But the text, it's the they're putting a graphic on the screen, and you as the viewer know that graphic is an artifact of the filmmaking process. It removes the illusion of realism, or it at least impedes the illusion of realism.
All right. I don't know if I agree with you.
You should.
I'm not going to. All right. So, any other nominees for Creed? Let's just pick our.
Yeah, let's stick with the winner. I like the winner. Everybody's gonna like the winner.
The Steadicam winner, first fight, Leo versus Donnie. Great, well choreographed fight scene.
Really, really. We'll talk about this again. Really great Steadicam throughout this entire film.
Immersive. That scene is immersive.
High quality Steadicam work.
For Southpaw, I have. Well, I already mentioned the first 35 minutes of the movie. You could just back to back give me those scenes, and I've
got the first 5 minutes.
Which one is that?
Really just it's
the
just
opening fight.
Billy, not even the fight. He's in his locker room, and you know immediately how intense and focused this guy is. And I think I remember feeling like, oh, he's really angry too. Like he's just a guy who feeds off, his anger. And in that sequence, we get to know a little bit about the people around him. We definitely get the sense that some people around him are more committed to him as a person than others. I think we're introduced to, Maureen in that scene. It just lays the groundwork in a way that, successfully brought me into the world of the film.
Yeah. So specifically, Billy's first fight at Madison Square Garden I thought was awesome. To me, it looked like real boxing the way they filmed it. I think they filmed it with similar camera and lighting techniques as a real boxing event is filmed. I thought it was a great opener to the film, and the effects looked phenomenal. So we'll bring this up during cinematography, but I think the effects of Southpaw background in the rings looks way more believable and realistic than the effects of Creed. And
in terms of fake crowds.
Yeah. And turns out that Zero VFX, which did the effects for Southpaw, was then hired to do the crowd effects for Creed 2. So a company that did Creed 1 was not brought back on. Another scene I have is the charity rehearsal speech in their, I guess, in their bedroom or closet, and that spilling over to the actual charity speech. What I loved about all of this was that it really builds the character of Billy, who he is, how he is all about his family, and he doesn't really want to engage with the rest of anything outside of his property and his castle that he has built. He doesn't like to talk about his past. And then during that speech, he also refers to his friends, and you get a true sense of how these people are so close just through his delivery of the speech. And then it goes into Maureen's death, which I don't think is part of that whole scene. I think the rehearsal of the speech and the giving of the speech is like a really cool scene in the movie. What do you think?
Yeah, I like those scenes.
Nothing to add. I loved the small segment where Billy crashes his car, Layla wakes up, and then discovers him at the foyer. You mentioned that all of the Forrest Whitaker scenes with Billy are great, so I think my favorite one was when he meets Tick at the bar for the first time, storms out, and then Tick says after him, "That's why you're here," pointing at his anger, and then he returns a few minutes later.
I like the second scene that I highlighted was the first time they meet.
At the gym.
Yeah. It's...
you know what? I had that in my notes too.
A really unique... I feel like it's a unique scene in boxing films, not just in film Southpaw unto itself. It's such an interesting level set for the character of Billy, who believes that showing up at Tick's gym is basically like showing his belly. Like he's walking into this, poorly equipped, dimly lit place where most of the members are like charity cases and kids, and he really expects Tick to be bowled over by the fact that Billy Hope is here, and Tick could not be less less impressed.
Well, he's there because Tick trained the guy who beat Billy.
Right, but he thinks he's essentially going to be doing Tick a favor. Like, I'm a huge boxer, I'm a name, I'm going to come to your gym, and that's going to make you look good.
I don't know if I got that sense. I don't know if he came with that attitude there. I don't know if that's what I read when I watched the movie.
Well, I would guess that you would agree that he wasn't expecting to be told that he could clean the toilets.
Yeah,
that would be the job that he,
Yeah.
That when he says like, "Hey man, can you help me out? I need a job," that he would be given something to do that isn't as demeaning in his mind as cleaning the toilets. And it creates the most interesting challenge for the character of Billy, which is how to be a person when he's not in the boxing ring. Like, that is his great struggle in this film. It's a struggle that feels real. It's a struggle that feels authentic, when you're thinking about times where you've walked into a situation and thought you kind of understood your value, and somebody reframes that thought for you. And it's very humbling. And so for a guy like Billy, who's not used to being humbled, there's a really, really interesting tension in that scene where, you have Billy, and he's a live wire, and his anger kind of keeps him from knowing who he is. And you have Tick, and drowns his anger in a way that I was going to say that he knows who he is. He definitely knows who he is more than Billy does, but I don't think he knows who he is when he's not drunk. So they're just two very volatile personalities, and the two actors that we get in these scenes, just infuse them with humanity and really great dramatic tension.
I like that scene a lot too. A special mention scene. Well, before I mention this scene, I want to talk to you about Saving Private Ryan. Do you remember the scene where Vin Diesel takes the French girl child from the parents?
She reminds me of my niece, sir.
Yes, and then after he gets shot, the girl runs back and slaps her father.
Yep.
That was a very powerful vignette of a scene.
Yes.
And I got those Saving Private Ryan chills when Layla is slapping Billy and yelling at him when she wishes, she says to him that I wish you had died instead of mom. Child hitting parent on the face, slapping and yelling at them. All this good stuff.
I was not similarly moved, but I take your point.
How sleepy were you when you watched this movie?
I was wide awake, baby.
All right, any nominees to add for Southpaw?
No, that's it. That's it for me.
All right, so I think clear winner here. Any thoughts?
Oh, the oneer, Creed.
Round 7. Best music moment / needle drop.
Oh, baby.
That'd be. I think for the first time in a long time, I actually have like a strong opinion on this one.
Lay it on me.
But I don't have my ace up my sleeve. So let's see what happens. Both movies use hip-hop tracks to pump up some scenes, and I feel that those were the strongest music moments in each of these movies. But let's get into the composers. Creed was scored by Ludwig Göransson, the guy we have talked about probably the most in terms of music.
Probably the most mentioned contributor to films that we've discussed so far.
One of our favorite contemporary composers. Mandalorian, Tenet, Black Panther, most recently Oppenheimer.
Fruitvale Station, that's where he started. Your favorite film, Tenet, The Mandalorian.
Oppenheimer. He's appeared... what do you think of his music in Creed?
I think it's great. For me, a theme of thinking about the movie Creed is that it's made by a lot of people with good taste. The art direction is tasteful. The cinematography is tasteful. The casting, the writing, the performances, and the music. Its score pays clear reverence to the famous score from the original Rocky film and Rocky series.
So it's not the same.
It's heavily amended. It's totally rearranged. And it's done so in a way that appropriately makes Creed feel like part of the Rocky lineage, but certainly honors that it's its own thing. And it's always interesting to me when a person or when a composer can intertwine genre, music, and film score. And Göransson does a really amazing job of threading the Gonna Fly Now horn theme that you're very familiar with from the Rocky film with hip-hop beats that were created for the Creed soundtrack. It sounds like something that shouldn't work, but it works really well. The division of labor between the score and the needle drops, the kind of soundtrack hits, it just seems perfectly balanced throughout, you know? We get contemporary music when I feel like it's called for, but, you know, when we need bells, we need bells and horns during the fight, we get that too. Really, really satisfied by the music in Creed. Special mention to Meek Mill, Lord Knows, which is the song that plays during the running montage, the running scene when Adonis is surrounded by the young men on their quads and motorbikes in the street, which that is a great example of a scene that could go really wrong. That could go really wrong in incapable hands, because it's so clearly a one-on-one reference for, you know, the scene where Rocky runs up the stairs. And yet, you know, they choose not to do that. They choose not to do the stairs. We revisit the stairs in front of the Philadelphia Art Museum later. And those choices turn out, to, in my opinion, to just be really successful. Good choices throughout.
Southpaw is scored by the late, great James Horner.
Another Hollywood versus Hollywood all-star.
He passed away by the time this movie was released. His credits include Titanic, Avatar, the first one, A Beautiful Mind, The Perfect Storm, Apocalypto, Flight Plan, which we did, Enemy at the Gates, which is a movie you love. I saw it. It was okay. And many, many more.
Aliens. You love Aliens.
He did Aliens?
Apollo 13, The Rocketeer.
Wait, why didn't this show?
The Mask of Zorro.
Are you sure about all this?
Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Are you sure about all this?
Pretty sure.
All right, I guess I didn't read the whole list. What do you think about James Horner's music or any other music in Southpaw?
I don't remember it at all.
What were you smoking?
I even went back to listen to the score unto its own, thinking like, James didn't do me like this, and there's just no there. Yeah. It is what it's the opposite of what Göransson achieved. It's a poor effort at intertwining traditional film scoring with hip hop, and one for one, if you put the track lists next to each other, the needle drop hip hop pop songs that appear in Southpaw versus Creed. Southpaw's songs are terrible. They're terrible. Terrible.
The top of my list is phenomenal. But
that song stinks. We sat here and we agreed that the song for Venom by Eminem was awesome.
And so is this.
It's still awesome. This song, Phenomenal,
yeah,
it stinks. I think it was perfect. Frustrating earwig. It gets in your head.
It was a perfect
It's not
song
melodic. It's not interesting.
The montage that it went with.
It's like a ringtone, and I never want to hear it again.
I totally disagree with you about this, which is that, okay, I agree with you about James Horner's, I would say, forgettable score for Southpaw. But I think the needle drop is Phenomenal by Eminem.
So, I said one of the things that I appreciate most about Creed is that I feel like it was made by a lot of people with good taste. I have the opposite feeling about Southpaw. I feel like the intertwining of the score and the soundtrack is poor. I feel like I don't understand when I am supposed to be hearing hip hop or hearing the traditional score. I feel like the score is largely buried in the film. I can't imagine having James Horner at my disposal and coming out with this end product.
So my experience of watching Creed, and I like both these movies. I don't dislike Creed. My experience of watching both these movies, while watching Creed, was okay. Dramatic scene between either Bianca and Adonis, or dramatic scene between Rocky and Adonis, and then music gonna come in, and there'll be some training, and then another dramatic scene. And then the same music that I heard earlier is going to come in again.
Yeah.
And then another dramatic scene.
Yes.
It's just the same
Give
old
me
thing.
what I want.
It's just redundancy. It's just a redundant music thing for the 2 hours and 13 minutes of the music that the movie goes on for. Yeah, it's just redundant.
Oh, man. Gives me chills.
It's overused.
Gives me chills when I hum it.
It's overused.
We're at an impasse here because I cannot grant a point to Southpaw for anything to do with its music.
All right, 0 points then.
No, fight me.
There's nothing to fight about. You like one, I like the other. Ace of the sleeves are used up. What do we do here?
Rock, paper, scissors?
All right. But then that would make a new precedent and rule for the...
Well, I mean, are you going to bend?
I mean...
Thinking about the music from Southpaw makes me nauseous.
That's how... I mean, I don't dislike the Creed's music that much.
Well,
so
then help me out here.
Let me not...
Help me get over the hump.
Throw up over your brand new expensive laptop.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. A reluctant point to an unbending co-host here. Point going to Creed.
I mean, I only dig my heels in when it's important.
All right. Oh well, we love Ludwig Göransson.
We do.
Yeah. All right. Happy to do it for my man Ludwig. I'm not doing this
me.
for you. I'll do it for Ludwig. All right. Round 8. Best director / which movie was directed better? We have 2 black American directors here.
Crazy.
Both are icons of the American film industry. Creed's director, Ryan Coogler, is one of our most important contemporary directors. He's best known for Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. He has done Creed and Fruitvale Station. He has also produced Creed 2 and 3. He has produced Judas and the Black Messiah, which was a movie I enjoyed. And I think it was nominated for Academy Awards.
I think won for Best Performance.
And he produced the Space Jam reboot. What do you think of Ryan Coogler's direction in Creed?
I think it's pretty flawless. I think it's a splashy and impressive introduction to Hollywood for a young filmmaker. I think of all the people who had good taste who contributed to this film, the number 1 slot belongs to Ryan Coogler, not just the director, but the co-writer, definitely like the auteur and the guiding hand for what I think is an extremely successful story and successful film. And I think, when we talked about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever at the beginning of this season, and I was really taken back by how effective it was on rewatch. And, I think more fondly about the Black Panther series, just from that experience and from us talking about it. So, you just look at Ryan Coogler as a guy who has a history of just making smart choices and choices that are in good taste. Fruitvale Station was like the right movie at the right time. He casts Michael B. Jordan, who is a young, relatively unknown actor at that time. It's a extremely effective and heartbreaking film, and there are a lot of examples of successful indie filmmakers who are thrown into big budget Hollywood filmmaking. A lot of times it doesn't go so well. This is the success story of our time. I'm such a big fan of Ryan Coogler. I have season tickets, as they say. I will see anything that he directs.
I largely agree with you about the writing of the movie. And I think that spills over directly into the directing because the writer is directing the movie. For me, some of the best moments in the movie were the relationship between Bianca and Adonis. And some of the great highlight directing moments were when they were having for example, when they were having a fight through the door and you were just seeing one person on either side.
What a great film. What a great scene. A scene that's made effective because of the way it's blocked. So blocking is another word for where you put the characters. Oh, it's just so smart. And I mean, I'm sure that I've seen something like it before, but its simplicity is only matched by its effectiveness. And the last shot of that scene, which is the door after the inside of the door after Bianca has walked away, I knew it was coming, and I was just like, man, this is going to be such a cheap shot. And when it hits the screen, I was still just like, taken aback.
Yeah, I think from an editing standpoint, it was the perfect length for that shot to have been on there.
Really, really, really good choices. The scene where they share their first kiss, where they're upside down on screen, which I think because of the angle, I imagine that was a choice that was made in production.
You think they were trying to say that they're falling in love? I mean, because that would be like film school level directing.
I took it more as they were each on a path, and this is an unexpected place where Bianca states it pretty clearly
that their worlds have been turned upside down.
That he had a thing that he was focused on, that she has a thing that she's focused on, but like they've essentially gotten in each other's way here, and they don't have a way out.
Got you. Well, do you think the relationship is going to last? I haven't seen 2 and 3.
I'm optimistic.
Are they together in 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, honestly, maybe I'm letting like my appreciation and love for the Creed franchise,
it's definitely clouding your judgment.
Soak into this discussion.
I've seen this before because I think in Maverick you were equally clouded by the love for the movie.
Being impassioned by things is I'm clear-eyed here. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
So we're gonna talk about some awesome fight scenes that happen in this movie, and I think that's gonna come up in the cinematography category. But I'm sure Coogler called some of those many of those shots, and I also liked how well he rebooted the Rocky franchise with this movie. Now, he did one thing in this movie which to me was out of place in this movie. It's like, how come this movie that is so well directed have had this in it?
Say your piece.
Which is that there's a moment when Conlon is coming out of the blue smoke in slow motion for what feels like a minute, but it's only like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is like a totally unnecessary shot. Did you feel the same way about that shot? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yes, I agree.
It's like, it's to me, it's like poor editing, poor directing, like, what is the purpose of the shot? It seems so wasteful.
Yeah. The film, throughout watching the film, I felt like everything felt very purposeful and felt very thought through. Scenes unfold in a way where they feel so natural. I'm never thinking to myself that this scene should have ended a different way. That's a small moment in the film, and it's a visual flourish in a film that doesn't have a lot of visual flourish. But
there's nothing so spectacular going on in there that is like, it's not like a unique thing like the 180-degree spin that they do over the ring, which I'm...
Yeah, I think he's trying to draw contrast between the presence of the young Adonis Creed and the established champ Conlon.
Yeah.
I agree that it's not an effective moment in the film.
Another one that stuck out to me was when Adonis goes to the basement to convince Stallone to train him in the basement of the restaurant. And then in the end, he says, I am going to fight Conlon. Is that what he says? And then we stay there a little while longer, and then he yells, I'm going to fight Conlon. To me, that was another unnecessary moment. Did you feel that way?
I did not. I do not agree with you this time around.
Okay. What say your piece about this.
I mean, it's an incredible opportunity for a character who thinks he deserves an opportunity,
So to me, this is what it felt like, which is that the scene had that last line. Coogler doesn't call cut, and then Jordan redelivers that line in a much more emphatic way, and it makes the final cut of the film.
James Cameron calls you, and he says, HT, I've heard about you. And there might be some people who say, I'm crazy to do this, but you're my guy. Aliens 2, it's yours. $200 million, go make your movie. You're not going to exclaim out loud?
Yeah, but he doesn't do it the first time. He does it the second time. All right, whatever. I thought there were some moments in the movie.
This is a very, very narrow nitpick when there are large swaths of Southpaw, which are totally absurd.
All right, why don't you bring them up? In Southpaw, directed by one of our favorite directors, Antoine Fuqua.
He is not one of my favorite directors.
He's not one of my favorite directors. You have said that Fuqua, in one of the past episodes, you have said that Fuqua makes the script that he's given.
Oh, yeah.
In that if the script is good, he makes a good movie, and if the script is bad, he makes a bad movie. So I thought this was a pretty good script.
I've got a hot take. You want to hear my take?
Yeah.
Antoine Fuqua is a bad director.
Really?
Yes.
Training Day?
I don't know why Training Day is so good. Not one... Replacement Killers is good. Training Day is amazing. And not one other of his films is even good.
I'm going to go back and find clips of you saying Fuqua's great.
I must have been mistaken. I was kind of dumbfounded by the directing of Southpaw. It's uneven in tone, in pacing. There's dialogue.
Wait, hold on. Let me
would feel out of place in a high school theater production.
Like what?
Upon seeing her father at the child services center, his daughter walks away from him, and another young girl, a character who we've never met before, says, "Is that your dad?" And his young daughter says, "I don't know anymore," in a way that no child has ever spoken, with the kind of perspective that no child like that would ever have. That's one. You want another?
I don't know if I agree with you, but continue.
Later, he visits his daughter, and she needs help spelling. What's the word that they spell?
Hopelessness?
Hopelessness. Can you give me a fucking break? Give me a fucking break.
But didn't you realize she was testing him?
No. They were testing my patience as an audience member.
No, she was in that scene. She was testing him whether he cared to spell the word properly or not, because she was looking at the word. She knows how to spell that word.
Why did they choose the word hopelessness?
Because he leaves out one important letter. I don't know which one he leaves out, but he leaves out a letter from the correct spelling of hopelessness. Which basically,
But why would they choose?
She's testing.
What's his last name? H.
Hope.
Hopelessness.
She is testing through the two words that she chooses.
I don't care. I'm not talking about the decision making of the fictional 9-year-old girl. I'm talking about the real life decision of the director of this adult drama to give the down on his luck Billy Hope the word hopelessness to spell. And if you can't see why that's hackneyed bullshit, I don't know if this podcast should continue.
So in this scene, she's testing whether or not he's self-absorbed or if he's actively trying to get her back. And he fails the test because he's self-absorbed in that scene.
This movie failed the test of a good movie.
All right, so we are here locking horns again, where I feel that the script is solid. I feel that Fuqua's directing is awesome, with support of Mauro Fiore.
Let me give you a broader one. Let me give you a broader notion.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Each place, the mansion, the social services place, Wilt's gym, the bar that Tick and Billy meet at, all of these places feel like real lived-in places.
Disagree.
In this movie.
What city is Southpaw supposed to take place in?
New York City. Hell's Kitchen.
It never, ever, 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 ever looks like New York City.
What are you talking about?
It looks like Pittsburgh, where it was shot.
Oh, come on. No, it doesn't. Are you serious?
Yes. I've been to some dirty bars in New York City.
Does Creed look like Philadelphia?
There has never been a dirty bar like the bar that Tick and Billy have a drink in.
Does Creed look like Philadelphia?
Yeah, it was shot in Philadelphia.
Okay.
It has the Philadelphia skyline in the background. It has the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
So what? They have some B-roll shots of a couple of spots, and that's it?
It has a train trestle that says Eagles.
And that's it?
Philadelphia Eagles.
All right.
I mean, I can't believe that you've chosen
surprised
this hill to die on.
I'm surprised that you dislike this movie so much. All right, what do you want to do here?
Give a point to Ryan Coogler for his fine work.
So every single time we disagree, you get a point?
You can I'm gonna
You can
I'm
convince
gonna
me
kick
before.
That's what?
You could not convince me before. I just
Oh yeah, because you did give the point to where I wanted, right?
Yeah, because I it didn't make me Ludwig Göransson's music did not make me throw up. Is Fuqua's direction making you throw up this time?
One of the things that really bugged me about Southpaw was the actual fighting. You mentioned that it's lit
better. Oh wait, lit like a real fight.
Right. Is it a real fight?
Is it a real fight? No, but you're.
I could never.
You're helping
every
the suspension
fight scene,
of disbelief.
Not for me. I felt like every fight scene could not decide whether I was supposed to be on a journey with the actual boxers or like a member of a member of the audience.
Okay.
And it's honestly it's a problem that I've never had with a boxing film. I feel like I've kind of always known. Now I'm with the fighter. Now I'm watching and I'm getting a sense of like the style and the technique. And now I'm in with the fighter and this is an emotional moment. And now we're stepping back and we're like appreciating the athleticism. There are so many times I kept thinking about the fight scene in The Fighter where Wahlberg is I'm forgetting his character's name, but Wahlberg he's purposefully getting hit. He's letting himself get beat up because Christian Bale's character and he, unbeknownst to us at the time, but later we find out, their strategy was to let the other fighter punch himself out, right? And the announcers they don't have that information because they didn't make the film. And they're living it as it's happening, right? So it's questioning, why is he doing this? This is totally unlike him. Terrible strategy. He's obviously going to lose this fight. And then we get the twist, right? Where I think Wahlberg takes out the other fighter in like 2 punches. And we get a great needle drop. And we as the audience get to catch up with where the character is and have an exciting moment as that tension is released. And in Southpaw, the announcers are constantly updating me as to what I'm seeing. They're just telling me what I'm seeing, that he is struggling, that he's not doing right, that he needs to do this, that he needs to do that. There's absolutely no tension, and Fuqua never comes up with a way to let us understand Billy's strategy without just having someone else tell me what I'm seeing. He has no respect for the audience to like take information that they've heard later, or to just like be chill, right? Like be chill for 5 minutes. Let's enjoy the choreography, and then we can do a breakdown of what's happening because we'll get Forrest Whitaker, we'll get Tick to tell us, what's going on. It's just this kind of constant play-by-play, and watching two men punch each other in the face is not so interesting that having it described as it's happening makes a good film, unfortunately.
So you're basically talking about the climactic boxing.
I think the fight scenes are the worst part of the movie.
In Southpaw. Okay. I don't know what to do here.
If you bent kindly for me in the music category, so if you want to give a point to Antoine Fuqua here, we can do that. I will just have to put an asterisk next to it.
You haven't convinced
You can
me.
have it, but you don't get to rub it in. So you can accept the point and we can move on.
Okay, fine. I accept it
All
for
right.
Mr. Fuqua, who was robbed by Emmerich in the first Hollywood versus Hollywood, and for the first time, Fuqua's getting a point.
I definitely don't feel bad about it now.
All right.
Was The Equalizer a good movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Which was also directed by Fuqua. So Equalizer, John Wick is one of the episodes we did last season. Check it out. Round 9. Best cinematography or best shot. This is going to be a tough one for me because as we get into it, you will realize that much like the direction, I like the cinematography of Southpaw better, but there's standout shots in Creed. So, here we go. I love that Ryan Coogler uses female cinematographers. Representation is important, and for a major contemporary director to put female cinematographers in the forefront is a great thing. Each of his films has a different female cinematographer. Why is that? Is he like terrible to his cinematographers and they don't want to come back?
We're talking about Coogler?
Yeah.
I have never heard...
He doesn't have repeat cinematographer.
That doesn't necessarily mean they have bad relationships.
What is one of the first things you know about great directors? They almost always use the same cinematographer repeatedly.
Yeah, but they find different people to work with. It's not like Scorsese and Spielberg have worked with one cinematographer.
They find a different one every single time?
No. But how many films, without looking, how many films has Ryan Coogler directed?
4.
Yeah. Maybe he's
with
still...
4 different cinematographers.
Maybe he's still looking for the right match.
All right. Cinematography for Creed is done by Maryse Alberti. She's known for her work in The Wrestler, Collateral Beauty, and most recently, The Burial, starring Jamie Foxx. Did you see that?
I did not, but I love The Wrestler.
She also has a vast filmography. Those were just the highlights. What did you think of Maryse Alberti's cinematography in Creed?
I'm a big fan. Big fan. I thought... So these films have pretty similar budgets. It's like $30 million to $35 million, right?
Something like that.
I think Creed looks like a $50 million movie, while Southpaw looks like a $15 million movie.
Really?
Yes.
When I'm looking at Creed, I am bored by the frame.
I'm bored by you.
The lighting. So they in the many ways that they're paying homage to Rocky, one of the ways that they pay homage to Rocky is by the unspectacular shots that I'm constantly looking at throughout the movie. There's almost nothing about colors that is going on, or every shot in Creed is like a medium wide, and I'm never emotionally connecting through camera or camera placement with the characters. It's always like a medium wide or medium, and I'm like back here not being able to connect with these people through the use of camera. And the lighting is not doing any spectacular service whatsoever. The only time the camera shines in Creed is when they do some really creative camera movement in the best scene that we talked about, the oneer, and there are spectacular moments in the final fight of the movie Creed. Other than that, I was thoroughly unimpressed by the cinematography of this movie.
For a film that is about the illegitimate son of a famous fictional boxer from a famous film, I think Creed looks shockingly realistic.
Yes, it looks shockingly realistic. Documentarian. Would you call it? Would you say it looks like Fruitvale Station?
It's close. I guess it's close.
Okay.
It's.
Do you like the look of Fruitvale Station?
I will agree that it lacks contrast.
Do you like the look of Fruitvale Station?
I think it's appropriate for the film.
Unimpressive.
Yeah, but that's not every film is supposed to give you imagery that is unrealistic.
Yeah, I'm not talking about unrealistic. I'm talking about interesting.
But there's cinematic lighting, and then there's lighting for realism. And it's very clear that in both Fruitvale Station and in Creed, Coogler's desire was for a more realistic style of lighting.
And that makes for boring cinematography.
For you.
You don't think it's boring cinematography?
No, because they actually were using the camera to tell the story. Like,
well, you yourself said for like a realistic look.
But you know, we already mentioned the shot where they kiss and the camera's upside down. That would be a much more boring shot and moment if the camera wasn't upside down. And that's cinematography. Yeah,
well, there's certain shots which are different, yes. But in the scene that we were talking about, the lighting wasn't that interesting. The camera placement,
yeah, but that's the thing. Those are decisions. And again, having if your preference is for contrasty, highly saturated cinematography, that's fine. But filmmakers make decisions about their photography based on the story they're trying to tell. So, there's a reason that Creed doesn't look like Avatar. It's because they're different stories.
Yeah, but we're comparing cinematography, and you know what? Visually, Southpaw looks better.
Help me out here and give me a couple examples of shots that you thought were standout in Southpaw. Individual shots.
So, there's we're gonna get into the final shot where we have the falling of the guy. We'll get into that into a later category that I thought was great. I talked to you earlier about the believability of the crowd at the rink, which is done through cinematography and special effects. Really well done.
That's not a shot.
In Southpaw, all the shots there.
I'm asking you to identify
the bar.
Give me 2 distinct shots from Southpaw. Shots, not scenes, not setups. Shots.
The back and forth between Tick and Billy when they first meet, when Tick is at his office and Billy is at the doorway, and they're talking back to each other. That conversation, in the way it's framed, in the way where the camera sits and the lighting is much more interesting than almost any scene that you can point to me in terms of characters having conversations in Creed.
I mean, I think that those scenes between Billy and
the scene in which Tick and Billy are sitting down on the ground after Hoppy has passed away, and
that was a real believable dramatic moment there.
And they're having a conversation sitting next to on the floor next to the rink.
No, I can see why that generic 2 shot was really impressive for you.
It was a great shot. I can't think of one similar shot in Creed.
That's because Creed has good shots.
It has boring, realistic-looking shots.
So here's a couple individual shots that I thought were successful at storytelling in Creed. Very early, it's like the 3rd or 4th shot of the movie. We see a slow, steady cam shot of different doors to cells in the holding area in the juvenile, in the juvie, and through the windows of those doors, we see these partially obscured faces of these little kids. So I thought that was an effective and effective shot that explained to you the stakes of what we were dealing with from the start of the movie. I thought we talked about the kiss. We talked about the fight oneer. There's absolutely nothing. There's no camera effort in Southpaw that stacks up to the oneer, the oneer fight in Creed.
Agreed. I agree with you.
Especially considering, like, when we talk about twin films, and we talk about filmmakers coming to bat at similar times with similar stories, that Ryan Coogler and his cinematographer were able to give us a unique perspective on a scene of boxing that had never was not like anything we'd seen before. And Southpaw does not achieve that.
Well, in Southpaw, every time we're at a rink, I can tell you which rink we are at. They all have different production design, different characteristics. The veteran rink is designed significantly differently than any other rink in the movie.
That's production design, but there's actually not even that many fights in Creed.
There's 3 fights in each movie. Each movie has 3 rink fights.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you watched. I don't know how you watched Southpaw and walked away thinking that it was a real successful effort of cinematography.
So I do agree with you about a couple of shots in Creed that were stand out. I agree with you about the oneer, and I agree with you about they're punching each other and the camera goes like 270 degrees.
Is there a shot in Southpaw that's better than the oneer in Creed?
So on best shots merit, I'm happy to give it to Creed. but this one, for that one single shot, in a very similar way how we had given this award to Maury Fury for The Equalizer.
There's something that they're doing in Southpaw that they also do in Equalizer, which is shoehorn unnecessary jib shots into the film. I think Gyllenhaal's having one of his most vulnerable moments. The man has a gun in his hand and he's breaking down at home. And then we get a real nice artificial jib on him. And I'm 100% removed from the tension of the scene, and I'm thinking to myself, why is the camera floating in the air? Total shattering of the suspension of disbelief. And I don't know.
He's lonely. He's alone. His wife is dead.
Don't try to don't try to force realism on me and then inhibit that with in-your-face production techniques.
The movie doesn't force realism on you. All right, listen. If you want to give it to Creed,
I do. Done.
For the two nice shots that they had,
putting it on the board.
That's fine.
Creed. Next round.
Oh my God, this is one of the most contentious ones we've had, right?
Yes.
I see by your silence that you're not enjoying this.
I just, man, I was so disappointed for Jake Gyllenhaal.
Round 10, best quote / best dialogue. All right, I guess we'll clearly butt heads here. Let's go. For Creed, I only have one dialogue, but do you want to get into some of yours?
Yeah, we referenced one, if not some. I really liked that "what was his name" beat that we get right before the title. I really like the line Stallone has early in the movie. He says, time takes everybody out. It's undefeated.
I like that one.
I like when Stallone says, step into my office. Like those. Oh, and then that's pretty good. The chickens are slowing down. That's Rocky. He's got like a Yogi Berra-ish wisdom that's very endearing. You better not walk around naked either. It's they're jokes, they're buttons on scenes, but they feel super appropriate. And maybe the most relatable moment in the whole movie comes prior to the climactic fight when Adonis says, I'm freaking out. I gotta take a shit.
That was good. I like that moment.
I mean, it's a bold swing, to put a moment like that purposefully releases the tension before the fight, I think somebody like Antoine Fuqua doesn't know how to pivot like that, does not know and does not have the confidence to like take a step back from the trumped up seriousness of this fictitious boxing match to give us a moment of levity.
He just follows the script, man.
He's allowed to consult on the script as a famous director.
He believes in it. He believes in the material. Anything else you want to add for Rocky? I mean, for Creed?
No, actually, but I do have a couple. I have a couple lines from Southpaw.
All right, well, I have many from Southpaw.
Oh boy!
So why don't you start?
In retrospect, all of these lines are from scenes between Gyllenhaal and Whitaker.
Why don't you get into them when we get to that part of the movie?
And I would be suspicious if they did not write them. I'm suspicious that Gyllenhaal and Whitaker wrote these and not the writer of the film.
Got you. So in the first fight at MSG, I have the announcer who I believe is voiced by Liev Schreiber. He says, from an orphanage in Hell's Kitchen to MSG, a distance of only a few blocks and 1,000,000 miles. I thought that was great. I see by the lack of your reaction that you're not impressed.
It's fine. The thing about writing, that's a line that's supposed to sound like a written line.
It's
because it's
the
an announcer.
It's the announcer.
So I'm not as impressed by that as I am a good line, which is supposed to sound like a normal human said it. So it's fine. It's fine.
So I have Billy saying to Maureen, what if I said, look at your face, and then I started crying. Thought that was a great line. I have a 50 Cent's quote-unquote monologue, which is, Billy, every time I seen you fight, you climb in there alone. Every time you bleed your blood. When you get down on that stool and you felt like death and you thought you couldn't get up, but you got up. You did that. This was him trying to convince him to get back into fighting. I thought that was great.
That does not sound like a written line to you?
No, that's a person talking.
Sounds like a writer talking.
I have 50 Cent saying to the security guards about Billy leaving, You follow him. Make sure he doesn't break shit on his way out. I have Tick says, it's a fake eye. HMO screwed up. Send the wrong color.
That's a joke.
Yeah. It's great. Not funny to you?
No, not funny to me.
I guess you have never dealt with HMOs.
I liked the line Billy says to Tick, my wife would have liked you. And Tick says, I appreciate that. It's it comes across as such an important moment for Billy because he doesn't really invoke his wife because it's so painful for him. And Tick, who is a little more... Tick's been through it himself. So he understands where Billy's coming from. And when he says, I appreciate that, it's one of the most genuine responses that he has to anything Billy ever says in the movie. There's no facade. And I thought, I wish more of the film could be like this moment. Tick says to Billy, I'm going to the bar. I do not want to see you there.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Felt very real. And
see, Forrest Whitaker doing his line so good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Forrest Whitaker wrote these lines. I mean, I don't know that. I did not read that. I'm surmising that. So the character of Hoppy is a totally contrived tool to express the stakes of the moment, that the boxing club is a matter of life and death for some of these kids.
And is that any different than Colin's coach?
The question is, does it matter or have any effect on the film whatsoever?
It has effect on Tick's decision to train Billy.
I don't see why. I don't see why that would motivate him. Oh, this troubled kid who we're getting to know. Oh, we get to know his name and that his mom loved bunnies.
How do you?
Of course he was going to die. Even when I'm trying to compliment the film, I end up criticizing it. Anyway, post Hoppy's melodramatic death, we get a line from Forrest Whitaker. To me, it said everything about his character. And it's just there's this moment of silence between Billy and Tick. And Tick looks around this gym and he says, what is this? What kind of is this? Like, what is the point of absolutely any of this when you dig a hole and somebody fills it in, or you roll a rock up a hill and somebody knocks it right back down? The notion that if Hoppy was like fully realized as a character and meant anything to us, I could see this, being very effective. But, the line unto itself felt very real, and the performance felt very real, and it felt like a real insight into where Tick comes from.
The strength of Southpaw for me in the script is when Billy is talking with his limited vocabulary that he has of how he has to express ideas. It is super effective. The movie is steeped in character, in my opinion. You don't agree, I know that. But there's a very small line that Billy says when his friend comes to pick him up at the mansion, when he has to move from the mansion. And he says something like, it's just a house. And that, to me, is super emblematic of Billy's character and the strength of the script, which is that a kid who grew up in the foster care system, this mansion is just another house. You understand? So
I understand what you're trying to say, but in a very short period of time before he says that, he says, I can't sell my house. It's, what's his daughter's? I don't know what his daughter's name.
Layla.
It's Layla's home. It's Layla's home. What happened to, I can't sell this house, it's Layla's home, and it's just a house?
Well, now he has no choice and he has to give it up, so he has to part with it.
We have not been given any indication. Nothing has happened. Like those lines are meant to let us into his inner life,
and for me, it did.
And so he does a 180 on his feelings about something, with absolutely no reasoning on it.
For me, there was enough reasoning. It was time for him to have to give this up, and
well, I mean, you know that the greatest films of all time, all of their characters change because it's time for them to change.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the screenwriter decided, well, now it's time for this character to change.
He connected with me. He clearly did not connect with you. So who do you want to give it to? I like one, you like the other, and you are unbending. So it's like this is the one-way street over here.
I mean, I feel, I I feel like I want to give you I want to give you an opportunity to prove your point, but none of these things are good.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you just pick one dialogue from Rocky? I'll pick one dialogue from Southpaw, and we'll weigh them against each other.
All right, I'm going to go with, I'm freaking out. I got to take a shit.
I'm going to pick a line that also has shit in it, which is 50 Cent saying, you follow him. Make sure he don't break no shit on the way out.
That's the line you chose? I thought I was setting you up to win, but that is absolutely not a better line.
Okay.
Do you want to pick a different line?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like I could bend.
Which line would you bend on? I'll just pick that line. From an orphanage in Hell's Kitchen to MSG?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to the bar. I do not want to see you there.
Yeah.
No. Let's go with my wife would have liked you. I appreciate that.
All right. For whatever reason, I'm taking this point for Southpaw.
Enjoy it.
This does not
Spend
feel
it wisely.
We're just so opposed here.
Yeah,
and we cannot convince each other.
We're getting through it here, though. We're going to drag each other across the finish line. Category 11.
Which movie gets the Good Time in the Movies award? I don't care. I like the short movie that has the 35 minutes of super awesome fall.
Creed. It's Creed.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I like Southpaw more, but
Creed
I don't care.
is like 9 minutes longer than Southpaw.
Yeah, and it's rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
I just know that I sat down last night, I watched Creed, and I had a really nice time. The night before, I sat down to Southpaw, and I didn't have a nice time.
I don't know what happened earlier that day, but you did not watch Southpaw for what it is. I don't care. Give it to Creed. I'm sure people love Rocky. People like Creed more. It made more money. It makes sense.
I'm sure that people tune into this podcast because you don't care.
I'm not a person who gets upset, and I'm not upset right now. This is like banging my head on a wall. It's like being Billy Hope trying to get his daughter back, and the social services is just not relenting. Thanks, Judge. Guys, after those brutal 11 rounds, which really feels like we were in the ring together, throwing punches at each other, and the only thing missing is just a bloody left eye. But, who had the better... whose bloody left eye did you like better?
This is off the record? This is not for points?
Not for points.
Gyllenhaal had a more upsetting bloody eye.
Rather than the swelling?
Oh, the swelling. I kept thinking about the red ring, like the broken blood vessel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but Creed's swollen eye, yeah, that was gross.
That was good makeup, huh? All right. We haven't counted the points yet. Let's keep going. This is why we do the podcast, the twin movie specific categories. This is why I wanted to do this.
So I mean, I don't like to do this, but do you want to know what the difference in the scores are?
No. Who's up?
I'm not going to tell you.
Creed probably.
1 point.
You're
1 point
such
difference.
a hard on for Creed. All right.
That's vulgar.
You've been saying BS and F for the entire podcast. I don't know who's gonna edit this, but that'll take forever to bleep out. All right, round 12. Which movie has the best central character talks to a dead person in grave scene?
We got Rocky talking to Adrian and Paulie.
I thought it was just Paulie that he was talking to. Was he talking to Adrian too? Are you mixing your Creed 2s and 3s?
No.
Are Paulie and Adrian buried next to each other?
What are you doing when you watch these films? Are you like focusing on them?
I thought he was just talking to Paulie.
No, there's 2 headstones. Paulie, Adrian.
Oh, okay. Missed that. I thought it was just Paulie. Because he kept talking about Paulie. He never talked about Adrian. Creed has a beautiful callback scene where Rocky talks to Paulie and apparently Adrian's grave. It's sweet. He has a chair in the tree. Apparently visits there often. What do you think of that scene?
Well,
wait, let me. You want me to tell the other scene?
Okay.
Talk about the other scene. In Southpaw, Billy and Layla visit Maureen's grave. This was the only scene in the movie where I wasn't sure if the girl was acting or overacting. So what do you think of these 2 scenes? Which one is better?
Well, I think you said something that is emblematic of the Creed scene being more effective, which is by seeing how prepared Rock is when he shows up. He says it's not that he's visiting for no reason. It's Paulie's birthday. He brought Paulie's favorite booze, Maker's Mark. He brought carnation for Adrian, and a carnation is a very modest flower. and I thought that was cute. And he pulls the chair from the tree, which you said in your description indicates what?
He visits there often.
Right. So in one scene, they've expressed not just what's happening in front of you, but what's been happening and where Rocky is. Rocky says something later, everything I've got has moved on, and I'm still here. And that's going right back to that scene. You know, his everything his character says and does feels like it comes from an authentic emotional core. And, you know, that's that scene is good writing. It's just good storytelling.
Okay. I don't think I have a favorite of the two. So I think for the chair alone, I would lean towards Rocky. I think that's a very effective visual choice.
I agree.
So let's give it to Rocky. See how confusing this gets?
It was good that we took a break. We come back and we found common ground here.
Round 13. Which movie has the best training with the ropes in the ring scenes? So in both movies, they do the rope stretch across the ring, and Creed trains on that. So does Billy. And the different thing that happens in Southpaw, I don't know if it happens in any of the Rocky movies or any of the Creed movies, is how do you describe it? The quadrants that they build with multi-red ropes?
Yeah, just the different sections of the ring. In Southpaw, they use more ropes.
In a later scene. And so both movies did it. Which movie did it better?
If we were talking about the montage scenes at large, I think Creed is more successful.
In terms of the training. Yeah.
I think a major miss in Southpaw is the movie's inability to establish Miguel as being very villainous. I never felt he doesn't look like a physical match. Jake Gyllenhaal is so yoked in this movie that nobody else really, like, when I'm thinking about their matchup, I don't see how how Gyllenhaal would be intimidated.
But does that mean anything in terms of, does that mean anything in boxing? Because as long as they're the same weight class, that's all that really matters, right?
But there's nothing that,
just because a guy looks bulky doesn't mean he can outfight.
There's just nothing that Miguel does that, so Miguel is quasi responsible for Maureen's death. Kind of. It wasn't his gun.
And they're not trying to show him as like an ultra bad guy. If anything, he's kind of like...
But then they let him...
He's a hungry boxer.
But then they use him... He makes a real cheap shot in the ring where he says something about Billy's dead wife.
Yeah, it's round 11. He's desperate.
I guess so. Anyway, I was not impressed with the stature of the villain in Southpaw, and
I don't think his goal was to be villainous. I think his goal was to be the opponent, and he had his own little character. He wasn't like cartoonishly evil like Conlon in the Creed movie.
In my fictitious boxing movies, I want the villains to be a little cartoonish. Slight tangent. Oh, man. Jonathan Majors. We lost another one. We lost another great actor because they don't know how to be a good person, and they treat other people like crap. That aside, I don't know if that's appropriate, but that aside, Jonathan Majors in Creed 3 is one of the most intimidating on-screen characters you'll ever experience. On one hand, people deserve to suffer the consequences for their actions. On the other hand, I am sad that we won't be able to see what else Jonathan Majors could do.
I'm just shocked that you're recommending a Jonathan Majors performance where he's like punching people.
I think I'm delineating my feelings on this very clearly. That being said, to get back to the core of this question, which is, which film does the ropes better? Southpaw has better ropes. They're red, there's more of them, and the way that Gyllenhaal interacts with them feels very authentic.
Like you, I also like the red separated quadrants.
Yep.
Point Southpaw. You already kind of answered this, but I was going to ask you the not in contention. Which movie has the best training montage before the final fight?
Yeah, there's just more on the table to work with in Creed, where especially at that point you have Rocky's dealing with his illness. It was shocking to me how sick he looks, how much they lean into that physical transformation.
So Hollywood has been using cancer lately a lot in movies. Don't you think?
Don't have enough current examples in my consciousness at the moment to
Like it's
agree
always
with
like
you.
someone's dying of cancer, and that's like it's kind of like the dead child cliche, right?
So please then give me a number of examples that you're referencing.
So there's Creed,
Yes, that's one.
and then
From
every
2015.
other movie where the main character dies ever due to an illness. Judd Apatow movie, that Pakistani comedian's wife dies in the hospital. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Big Sick?
The Big Sick?
Okay.
Cancer?
So that's a few years old.
All right.
What else you got?
And I got to come up with cancer examples.
Don't.
I don't watch all these movies
I
where
mean,
people are
you
dying
just
of
showed
cancers.
up to a gunfight with no bullets.
I'll retract.
All right, I appreciate
Hollywood, and I'll have to come back with more bullets next time. So yeah, which
that.
movie had
50-50.
which movie had the best? Is that oh yeah? Clearly, you know more of these examples. Isn't that a little bit old too?
Yeah, but I wasn't. I'm trying to help you now.
Okay, help would have been appreciated like a minute ago before I
I
retracted.
know. I know. I was purposefully letting you hang out there because I knew that you made an assertion that you could not back up, and I will look forward to the opportunity to do it again.
Also, like that when they were doing the jump rope, they actually showed Adonis doing the jump rope, whereas in Southpaw they slowed it down in slow motion and cut away.
He's working out. Both these guys got real jacked. The
Yeah.
physical transformations are very impressive.
Let's get to the next one. Round 14. Which movie had the I can't do the title fight without you coach scene?
Magnolia, a character dies of cancer.
You can. We can.
I'm
we
sorry,
can-
what was the
we
question
can move
again?
past this now.
Okay.
Round 14. Which movie had the I can't do the title fight without you coach scene?
Oh, interesting.
So both movies have the scene. In Creed, Adonis goes to the basement of Rocky's restaurant. In Southpaw, Billy asks Tick after the veterans fight in the venue of the fight. Which movie did the scene better, Michael?
Is there a scene where Billy successfully lobbies Tick to manage him? Which scene is that?
That's the scene in which he discovers in the gym that Hoppy died.
So I think that's your equivalent scene.
I'm just talking about the emotionalities of the scene. I'm not talking about the success.
Yeah, but
of
I mean
the
that
outcome.
so the first scene, the immediately after the charity fight, there's too much 50 Cent in that scene for it to be a better scene than any scene in Creed.
No, this is post 50 Cent, post 50 Cent, pre Hoppy death.
I mean, I did not find that scene to be memorable. Is there something memorable about that scene for you?
You yourself said that the best scenes in Southpaw are the scenes between Billy and Tick, and that's another one of those great scenes. Whereas in Creed, Adonis goes to the basement. And he's like, "Hey, will you do this for me, coach?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure," and that's it.
Because I think the better scene in Creed is the second time that they come to when, so there's a moment when they split where Adonis ends up in jail. Okay, scratch that. Take a step back. Adonis finds out that Rocky has cancer. Rocky says, I'm not going to get treatment. He says, we're not family. Adonis ends up in jail. They have another interaction in jail. And at that point, Rocky's not going to train Adonis. So there's a follow-up scene where Adonis returns to Rocky's home. He sits down, and they come to the agreement that Adonis will train for the fight, and Rocky will fight his cancer, and they will do so in tandem. And that is an emotional moment.
But I'm talking about, yes, it is.
Yeah, but you
I'm talking
picked
about
the worst. There are both.
I'm talking about scenes where the character literally says,
I know. I don't
Literally.
know why you pick the less interesting scenes.
because I'm talking about twin moments in these movies, and the twin moments are when each of these protagonists says to the coach, I can't do the title fight without you, coach. And both these scenes have that in common. I can't just pick random scenes.
Yeah, I just in my mind I remember the scene where Creed goes down the steps into the restaurant basement. He has this conversation with Rocky. I remember that scene. I don't remember the interaction that Tick and Billy have.
I remember enjoying the Southpaw scene more, and I also really disliked the Michael Jordan yelling at the end, I'm going to fight Conlon. That was just
I know
uncalled
you don't
for.
like that.
Uncalled for. Overacting. You want to give it to Creed?
That would be my preference at this time.
Yeah, I could tell. Round 15. Which movie has the best slow-mo epic boxer fall in the final fight?
Why don't you take the lead on this one?
This is a staple in almost every boxing movie. My favorite is the one from the movie Snatch, which is shot at like 10,000 frames per second in super slow motion. It looks great. In Creed, we have Donnie gets hit by Conlon, and we see Donnie fall sideways and hit the mat, all in glorious slow motion. They said that this was done for real. Like, this real contact was made for this fall by Conlon actually hitting our man, Michael B. Jordan. In Southpaw, we have Miguel falling backwards with his spit, making a complete arch, nicely backlit by beautiful lighting. It's like a nice wide shot, a very solid cinematography choice, backed by super special effects in the way that they make the entire arena come alive. What I love about that moment is that Billy is still continuing to try to punch Miguel as he's falling. It's a really great shot from a cinematography point of view. Which one do you think, Michael? Which movie has the best slow-mo epic boxer fall in the final fight?
Which one do you think that I think?
Well, I know which movie you like more.
I will agree that I really like the detail of Billy taking the extra swing after Miguel is already going down.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've seen that.
But there was something like very dramatic and very eye-catching to the shot of Adonis hitting the mat. One, it really looked like he was unconscious when he went down. I don't think that's CGI, so it takes a level of commitment for an actor to, go limp and smash their head on the ground. I really like what should have felt very cliche, which is I'm on the floor and I'm going to, the film will remind the audience of these dramatic moments that have brought us here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we've seen this. And then they show Apollo Creed. And I was just like,
fan service. I don't know what to make of your expression. Are you happy that you were manipulated emotionally?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what film is supposed to do.
So, stuff that was made 40 years ago.
I was super
well, let me finish.
I was feeling super neutral about this, but you've turned me because yes, Creed made me feel things. And
so stuff that was
things I've forgotten I could feel. That was a joke.
Stuff made 40 years ago, rehashed, washed off, wiped clean, and then put right in front of you again is good. And stuff that is
I don't know. Do people watch It's a Wonderful Life every year?
Yeah, but do they remake It's a Wonderful Life every year or every 40 years?
In a way.
And then they just show you the same old scenes from the 40-year-old movie over and over. And it's just like a never-ending cycle of studios making reboots and sequels and prequels and just not an original idea anymore. And it's just same old BS over and over again. What is wrong with Disney and Marvel? Can we just move on and make some original content and get back to the glorious days of film in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s? What happened to all the original cinema? Southpaw is original. Creed is just rehashed Rocky BS.
I would rather have a quality bullshit stew than whatever Fuqua cooked up and called Southpaw.
Let me ask this question again. Which movie has the best slow-mo epic boxer fall? Just the fall in the final fight. Epic, slow-mo.
The actual fall. I like the punch better than the fall. Do you want to? Oh God! Do you want to get? You want to give a point to Southpaw? Give a point to Southpaw.
Well, did it do it better? I'm not saying which scene is better.
No. I was more emotionally engaged with the shot of Adonis falling
because of Apollo.
You literally just reminded me and the audience of the narrow scope, which is the fall. And one of the reasons the fall is better in Creed than it is in Southpaw is because I actually care about the character who's falling in Creed.
And in the other one, the character falling is the villain. And
I don't care about. I don't care about him.
Victory for Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who's been wanting this. His daughter is watching.
Look, to me, it wasn't an effective film. I was not emotionally engaged at that point.
The slow motion, the arc of the spit, the wide angle.
It's a cool technical shot, but it did not cause an emotional. I had no emotional effect on me.
I'm not asking about emotion, man. I'm asking about what looks more epic. What looks more epic?
That was not the question.
Which movie has the best slow-mo epic boxer fall?
The word epic is in the question?
Yeah.
Hand me the iPad.
It's like, I'll show it to you right now.
No, hand it to me. Let me see it.
You're going to delete it?
No, let me
it's right
see
there.
it. I can't read it.
Why can't you read it?
Because it's very far away and I don't have my glasses on.
Put your glasses on.
my glasses on.
Read that word epic
Where is
in
it?
there.
I still can't see it.
Don't delete
Hand
it.
it to me. Epic. All right.
All right, you don't listen, huh?
No, I just don't trust you. All right.
I trust you with the count.
You can give the point to Southpaw. Give the point to Southpaw. I don't care.
If Snatch was in contention, would that be more epic?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure that, because, emotionally, that was nothing.
Southpaw stinks.
That's the end of all of the categories, Michael.
I forgot to do my calculating noise.
Okay. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep, beep. Before we get the final tally, let's recap real quick.
Let's.
Round 1, which movie won the release date?
Southpaw.
Round 2, which movie won the box office?
Creed.
Round 3, which movie has the better title?
Southpaw.
Round 4.
Oh, that was your asterisk. That was your ace up the sleeve.
Yeah, so I'm not ashamed of it. Round 4, which movie has the better leading actor?
Southpaw.
Probably the only time we agreed in this entire podcast.
Yeah, I thought we were going to find more common ground than we did.
Round 5, which movie has the best rest of the cast?
Creed. That was my ace, I think.
Round 6, which movie has the best scene?
Creed.
Round 7, which movie has the best music moment / needle drop?
Creed.
Our man Ludwig Göransson.
My man.
Round 8, which movie had the best director / which movie was directed better?
This is round 7?
Round 8. Did I say round 7?
No, it says Southpaw. How can that be true?
Because we had a long conversation and we settled
Unbelievable.
amicably on Antoine Fuqua.
There's no way it was amicable.
I hope you did not mess up the totals there. Round 9, best cinematography / shot.
Creed.
For those couple of really awesome fight shots. Round 10, which movie had the best quote / best dialogue?
Southpaw.
You fought for that one. Round 11, which movie gets the Good Time at the Movies award?
Creed.
With its, what was it, $173 million? Yeah, definitely the crowd pleaser there. Round 12, which movie has the best central character talks to dead person in grave scene?
Creed.
Round 13, which movie has the best training with the ropes in the ring scene?
Southpaw.
Round 14, which movie had the I can't do the title fight without you coach scene?
Creed.
I disagree with you there, but whatever. Round 15, which movie has the best slow-mo epic boxer fall in the final fight scene?
Southpaw.
All right, Michael. How many points does the loser have?
The loser has 7 points.
And how many points does today's winner
With
have?
8 points.
8 to 7.
Our winner is Creed. You really think Southpaw's a better movie than Creed?
No, I think they're pretty close to each other, I think. But, I mean, with
State of preference.
between the two, they're close. I enjoy them both. I like the fast pace of Southpaw better. I also like that I'm not always boxing and training in Southpaw. I'm like actually, going to different places, checking out different things, and not just
Like Court.
rinse repeat. I mean, those are good scenes. If they were like boring court scenes, I would not like it. But they're entertaining, engrossing, dramatic court scenes. All right, so with 8 votes for Creed beating out 7 votes for Southpaw, Southpaw gets thrown out of the ring by Creed in today's episode of the Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast. What are your feelings about the result?
I'm exhausted. This was exhausting. Why was this so exhausting?
It's like a real boxing match.
I feel like we went 15 rounds here.
Yeah, I think you came in heavy for Creed, man. You really dislike Southpaw.
It's my goal and preference to talk about things that I enjoy, about films that I may not think are very good. When it comes to Southpaw, I think Jake Gyllenhaal puts in an astounding performance in an otherwise pathetic film.
Like you said, people are entitled to their wrong opinions. Is Creed still a good movie without having Rocky behind its history?
I think it could be a good movie. I think Rocky is greater than the sum of its parts, and I think I said Rocky, right? I think Creed is greater than the sum of its parts, and I think its individual parts are all very effective. I thought you were going to mention this, but the Rocky franchise was a very important thing to Ryan Coogler and his father. So,
tell us more about that.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's that Ryan Coogler's father was sick. I think he may have had cancer. And during that journey, they spent a lot of time watching the Rocky films. So, Rocky really meant something to Ryan Coogler. And I feel that when I'm watching it,
So, did you know this going into the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
I had been aware of that beforehand. Sometimes you can tell when you're watching a film that the filmmakers have like a deep love for their characters. They might not win, but like they'll be taken care of in a way. And you can tell that like the film Creed was made with a lot of love.
So in our past 2 episodes, including this one, the reboot / sequel has won. I, as an audience, am tired of the culture of rehashing old properties, dusting them off, and then reproducing them. Because to me, as a film watcher, as a filmmaker, as a person who likes stories, I want original material. So where do we stand on? I think we are divided on the Star Wars thing too, right? So like I am the minority in the Last Jedi camp. I'm guessing that you are the Force Awakens camp, and we both hate the last one, right? What was the last one called? Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
So like I think culturally speaking, there's 2 strands of film watcher culture. One is that people who have accepted these reboots and people like me who want to reject these reboots. And I stand frustrated watching studios rehash all of these old ideas. I mean, the Creed, if you look at the skeletal structure, is pretty much Rocky. Like even at in the end, the fight ends with Creed not winning, which is what happened in the first Rocky. The final fight in Creed is also kind of a mismatch because it's a very established champ boxer who really should have no reason to be fighting Creed, right? Which is kind of what happens in the first Rocky movie.
What's my favorite thing to say on this podcast?
You didn't say it this time, so this is your moment.
I don't care. If a film can be good if it's a sequel, a film can be bad if it's a sequel, a film can be bad if it's original, or it can be good if it's original. You want to do away with sequels? Do you want to do away with your beloved Aliens? Do you want to do away with your beloved Terminator 2? Do I wish that there were more original stories being brought to cinema? Yes, I think there's an appetite for that. I think we see that when, Oppenheimer and Barbie come to define the summer of film going.
But Barbie is a toy property. It's not like Legally Blonde, which was an original idea.
So should films, I mean, there's no look, nothing should be off the table. That's where I am, because I'm a believer and a lover of democracy. If there's an audience for it, make the film. If you can, make it good. I wish that there were more $15 to $25 million movies being made. It's just not happening
90
right
minutes
now.
long. 90 minutes long.
I love a 90-minute film. It's not what the market is bearing right now. At the same time, there's some wonderful television being made. That's where a lot of our best writers and creators are going. But there are, at the same time, in this time that we live in, one, we have access to an unbelievable and unprecedented catalog of films. You could decide today that you're not going to watch any movies that are ever made from here on out, and only spend your time watching films that have already been made, and you will never, ever, ever run out. And similarly, you could decide, I'm never going to watch anything I'm never going to watch anything that wasn't made before today. And you will also never run out, because there are too many creators and there's too many unique opportunities out there because of digital technology for people to make films. They're not necessarily the easiest to find, but they're out there. subscribe to the Criterion channel. Go check out the Boutique Blu-ray subreddit. Vinegar Syndrome, if you like really weird stuff. Eureka Films, if you like European films. And for some reason, Kung Fu. Who am I missing? Severin.
Yeah, you're giving a lot of plugs right now.
BFI. I mean, literally, there has never been a better time to be somebody who's interested in film. It is totally overwhelming, the notion that there are literally too many films for you to ever watch them all. So I understand your frustration, but you have the opportunity to seek out original films, even if they aren't the ones that are being put in AMC theaters today.
That's it for us. Creed beating out Southpaw by a single point in the final round. Thank you for listening. This is HT with my co-host.
This has been exhausting, but I was happy to be here.
Only on the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast. Have a nice day. Thank you for listening to the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen.
And connect with us on Instagram at HollywoodVSPod.